off an hour of broadcasting to raise money for the Nordorf Robbins Music Therapy Foundation. This year, the hour was purchased by
Terror Reels.
This is how they decided to spend their money.
There's no getting rid of the
Terror Reels.
Your daughter loves me. She's gonna bring me home for stew tonight. And if I get banned off every venue in the country, I'll do a show in your backyard.
I don't get it.
Hi, I'm Tom Savini, and you're about to watch Terror Reels.
It's your boy SteelCityDahmer, bringing you a super dope and super silly 2009 Rob Zombie directed animated movie, The Haunted World of El Superbeasto. If you haven't seen this movie before, hold on to your butts, because you're in for a fucking treat. Seriously, this movie has it all, and it has an amazing number of celebrity voices. Of course, Sherry Moon Zombie's in it, but we also have Cassandra Peterson, aka fucking Elvira, Tom Papa, Dee Wallace, Ken Foray, Jess Harnell, Harlan Williams, Clint Howard, Brian Hussein, Danny Trejo, Bill Moseley, fucking Sid Haig, and so many more dope actors. Let's just fucking start this shit. Cut open El Superbeasto, voiced by Tom Papa, doing auditions with these girls. This one doesn't make it, so she gets taken away with a fucking crane hook. Well, he picks a girl he wants to star in Big Spicy Meatball Macho Man. She is mad that the sauce is hot, but how else is he gonna melt the cheese?
Luigi, she wants to put it too hot. The cheese is not gonna melt.
These girls are really possessed, and when the full moon comes out, one turns into a werewolf and bites his ass, and the other one turns into Medusa. Just joking. This was all for a movie. I'd watch the shit out of this movie. There's only one way El Superbeasto can relax after a hard day's work.
Titty boy.
So at this time, I should also mention that this movie is half musical. There are a lot of cuts to song numbers in here. You won't be hearing any of those though. After running over Michael Myers, El Superbeasto finally reaches the strip club.
Hi there, Beasto. Good to see you back.
Well, it's good to see you're back too.
The one girl rips off her tits and throws them at Leatherface, and then Jack Torrance cuts off the nose of the fly. I go broke at this strip club. We cut over to Nazi Germany, but all the Nazis are werewolves, except for this fine-ass Nazi killer. Hey, it's Sherry Moon Zombie playing Susie X. She finds and steals Hitler's head in a jar. An alarm sounds, and she goes through the door, almost plummeting to her and Hitler's death. She came prepared, though.
I bet MacGyver never had anything like this next to his tatas.
At the bottom of Nazi Mountain, she meets up with a robot who is in absolute love with her. This robot's name's Murray, and he is voiced by the middle comedian Brian Hussein. He turns into a motorcycle, and a high-speed chase ensues. So does another jingle. We cut to Steve Wachowski, aka Dr. Satan, voiced by Paul Giamatti, taking a diabolical shit on his throne. He's crying about not having a woman for himself. He's also crying because his A-friend, Otto, voiced by Tom Kenny, gives him the newspaper that has an article about him.
Steve Wachowski? How many times do I have to tell them it's Dr. Satan? Dr. Satan! Dr. Satan!
We cut into a song about how Steve Wachowski is going to gain all the sudsy powers of hell and dominate the world. He has to find a girl with a 666 on her ass, fuck her, and then marry her. Then he will become transmogrified.
You will be transmogrified.
Back at the strip club, Mr. Hyde introduces us the best stripper ever, Velvet Von Black, voiced by Rosario Dawson. She can even blow up her tits with her thumb. Of course, El Superbeasto falls in love with her and gives her a wad of cash as she motorboats his head. It just so happens that Velvet Von Black has the mark of the beast on her ass. Wachowski sends Otto to get his demonic bride. Otto is forced to make small talk with the elevator attendant because only in hell will there be an elevator ride that takes this long.
It's hot out.
Velvet launches a cigarette from her tits before Otto shows up. It just so happens that El Superbeasto is showing up to woo-hoo her with some flowers and a beer helmet. He walks in on what he thinks is an act of bestiality. He hears her scream a bit more before barging back into the room.
Take your stinking paws off her, you damn dirty ape!
Otto puts Velvet on his shoulders and escapes the building and hops from rooftop to rooftop. El Superbeasto has to make the decision, save the love of his life or go get his buffalo wings. He chooses Velvet Von Black like a fucking idiot. Hey, it's Edward Scissorhands, and Jason Voorhees, and a xenomorph waiting in line. Susie X is still fighting these zombie Nazi bikers. Susie X realizes she can't outrun all these Nazis and decides to fight them. Susie pulls out 2 submachine guns out of Murray's ass and spins her around, shooting the fuck out of all these Nazis. Ha! She made a robot who can come. El Superbeasto shows up during the fight and asks her to help with Velvet Von Black. In typical El Superbeasto fashion, he just makes her do all the work. I guess since she has a new job now, she doesn't care about Hitler. We cut to Otto taking Velvet through a graveyard, and where 2 ghosts are fucking. This movie dominates so fucking hard. Back in the elevator, even with this fine bitch, the attendant still makes the weakest small talk ever. Otto interrupts Wachowski's dog toy jerk-off session to inform him that Velvet Von Black has arrived.
Hey, get out! Damn it! That moment is ruined.
El Superbeasto arrives at the cemetery and notices a trail of cigarette butts leading through. He needs to hear from Susie to see what he's up against. But really, what's the worst that could happen?
Nah, that stuff only happens in the movies.
As he goes through the graveyard, we stumble upon our Bride of Frankenstein getting eaten out by the creature from the Black Lagoon. This graveyard's the fucking spot. Hey look! It's Otis Driftwood.
I ain't here to talk. I'm here for the all-American ass party.
Susie X bursts through the door, bucking off shots pretty recklessly. And hey look, it's Captain Spaulding.
Your clown business.
Oh, you want some clown business, do you, Greaseball?
I guess he wasn't ready for her clown business, because Susie X breaks his hand with her ass cheek. Otto sees El Superbeasto on the security cam, but Dr. Satan doesn't really give a shit.
What's the big stinkeroo?
One of the security monsters tried to flex on El Superbeasto, but he ain't shook.
Listen, ass pile. Get out of my fucking fuckface.
They bicker back and forth, and this monster's a fucking coward. He even lets El Superbeasto answer a call from Susie X, and she informs him that he's up against Dr. Satan. Finally, the monster fucking does something. As Wachowski is dancing in his room in his underwear, Otto and the monster bring El Superbeasto to Wachowski, and it looks like they have some history together. We cut to a flashback of a pimple-faced Dr. Satan getting tossed onto a goalpost by young El Superbeasto. El Superbeasto just wants him to return Velvet Von Black so he can fuck the shit out of her. Wachowski makes the monster beat up El Superbeasto so that he can give him a wedgie. Just as a nerd, he can't even do that. We cut over El Superbeasto locked in jail with El Gato, voiced by Rob Paulsen, the biggest nuts in cartoon history. Then we cut over Susie X driving Murray through the graveyard.
Oh, I love them.
Beasto's Hot Wheels at 12 o'clock, Big Daddy.
She climbs up his face to see what all the noise is, and it's just fucking Nazi zombies again. I guess that this was a Nazi graveyard because the Nazis started coming out of the ground for the rise of the Third Reich. Susie drops some knowledge on them.
There's fuck Nazis, goddamn Nazis, Nazi assholes, Nazi pricks, Nazi douchebags, Nazi jerk-offs. Yeah, you know, the list just goes on and on.
We cut to Wachowski and Velvet having dinner together. Of course, he's already in love with this bitch, and he's already ready to give her 50% of his shit. She would legit already have the ring on her finger, but now Otto has to cut it off of a previous wife's finger. She accepts.
We are gonna have the best Polish wedding ever!
El Superbeasto and El Grotto are traveling through the sewer system, and the muck starts to rise, and there's some sewer monsters El Superbeasto has to fight. His weapon of choice? El Grotto's balls. Wait, this monster is bullshit. We cut back to Susie killing the hordes of zombies. This makes Wachowski nervous because he thinks she's gonna ruin his wedding. Susie sneaks him in the shuttle with the rest of the folks. This wedding party does look pretty lit. El Superbeasto stuffs his face between Susie's ass cheeks. But that's his sister, and when he figures out who his sister is, he feels shame for probably the first time in his entire life. The wedding finally kicks off, and some guests have great things to say.
Hey, baby, show me your tits.
She does it too. She's a real giver. Right after their I do kiss, Wachowski begins to grow. Then this movie just blatantly steals the scene from Carrie. Blood drops down on Wachowski, and Velvet gets hit with the bucket. Susie starts shooting at Dr. Satan, but it's not effective. He also smacks El Superbeasto across the room. He even eats a bomb. That's when we cut to a random Benny Hill scene. His new wife's not happy that he has ran off with his high school sweetheart. Even as Dr. Satan, he still can't get the girl of his dreams. Fucking nerd. Velvet yells at Dr. Satan with a megaphone, but also calls Susie a hoe, which of course is going to lead to a cat fight.
Alright, cat fight!
And Everybody here loves watching this. Even El Superbeasto is getting turned on this, and that's his fucking sister. Velvet starts beating Susie with her tits, but Susie fights back with a bite to that ass. Even the Nazis come and watch the cat fight. Titties fly out, and Velvet hits Susie with a fucking lava lamp. Eventually, after getting her head beaten off the ground, Velvet loses this fight. Velvet just wants half of her shit anyways.
I got a prenup. Half.
What the fuck is going on with Dr. Satan? According to Satan's handbook, it says that if he crushes his wife under a crescent full moon while an albino white Barry Manilow lookalike performs Coco Cabana under a rainbow sparkles with cute kitten screams and a Moroccan death chant, then he could die. Just so happens El Superbeasto has a kitty in his pants. He just so happens to know a Moroccan death chant. Dr. shrinks back into this fucking nerd. That very brief sense of power has already gone to his head, and he thinks he can knock out El Superbeasto. In typical nerd fashion, he gets a wedgie so hard that it probably killed his father. El Superbeasto boots the fuck out of Wachowski. El Superbeasto's troller friends scare the Nazis away and chase after them, and the entire gang runs over Wachowski. After saving the world again and making a rock and roll album, El Superbeasto goes on to a talk show, but don't worry, he's super humble about everything.
Look, I don't want to dwell on the fact that I saved the planet again. I mean, it's just what I do.
Look, this was probably one of the best and most ridiculous movies I'll probably ever cover on Terror Reels. A great cast, many great monsters and horror movie cameos, a story that makes whatever sense, but still rules and has some catchy tunes in it. Shit, even the country band from the Devil's Rejects makes an appearance. I highly suggest if you've never seen this movie, go out and buy it. It'll quickly become a favorite in your collection. I'll catch you on it in my next episode.